Sure. Name is Aidan Abram. I'm with the Canadian Youth Delegation here to the UNFCCC COP13. We're part of the Canadian Youth Climate Coalition.
What is that Canadian Youth Climate Coalition do?
Canadian Youth Climate Coalition has been around for about a year, and it's a network of a few youth-oriented environmental NGOs in Canada, whose responsibility is to actively bring out youth involvement in climate change, placing pressure on the Canadian government, provincial governments, other stakeholders in the climate change issue to take stronger action on climate change, as well as to empower and inspire young people across the country to take actions in the community, influence their friends, neighbors, families to do better in terms of climate change and sustainability.
What are you hoping for this conference?
What am I hoping for this conference? For this conference, we're a team of 32 young people from across the country representing all 10 provinces. And we're really hoping to achieve a lot of media and outreach activities back home to bring additional awareness to climate change across the country, but really to inspire young people to step up and place pressure on our governments to enact stronger policies, to do more for climate change, but also to take it upon themselves to do more and to realize that they can. And as part of that, we're also doing a series of workshops and other activities to really help build the tools for individuals to take more action on climate change. We're also doing here at the Climate Change Conference active lobbying with governments, trying to encourage them, pressure them to step up and do more, which obviously aren't, and perhaps it's time to consider alternatives. But that's one other activity that we're involved in. The third is, at present, we come together as youth on a yearly basis around these meetings, and there's a lot of connections that exist between youth activities on climate change around the world, and that's great, but we can do better, and we can have a more sustained presence internationally, and we're working to build a more sustained global youth presence, to establish a network where we can share resources, knowledge, collaborate in building up to these meetings, but also to help each other to succeed better in domestic actions, as well as perhaps do more globally oriented activities. Successes, yeah, it certainly is early days. We're taking one step at a time. I would say, for one thing, we've always struggled as a youth movement, as young people, to be consistently present on the international stage. We're here, but some years we're here with a stronger force, other years less so, and we don't necessarily keep up that pressure from year to year. And I'd say now we're being recognized as more of a peer within the international process, seen as a player, contributing meaningful dialogue and action here, which is wonderful because we feel we deserve a place at the table. We feel that we provide a lot of value here, and we're seeing that actually play out in gaining access to other events and individuals, and instead of having to actually go out and try and get attention, people are coming to us and asking for our input and asking for us to participate in actions and activities that we haven't had access to before. So we're seeing, I guess, this momentum building towards something perhaps that's better and being seen as an active and equal partner on climate change. And if we can, branch out the responsibility across many more people, we can do more work successfully. People can have sort of a networking effect where if instead of having 10 people doing all the work, you can engage 100 or 1,000 or 10,000. Each of them can then influence their own networks, and there's also more buy-in, and you decrease the hierarchical structures that we tend to construct. Because if you have a decentralized network, it has that sustained presence, because you can have individuals lead the group, you can have an organization join or an organization leave, or you can create new entities off of these that, in the end, each of those different impacts happening here or there or everywhere don't necessarily affect the entire core, and it grows organically. And I wouldn't say we need to be encouraging people to step up and take individual action. We can't say that it's just going to be taken on, as it always has been, by just a few people.